What is going on, guys? It's Dinozords here with Channel 2 TGN, and today I'm going to be breaking down the new Injustice Gods Among Us Developer Diary #1.
So a lot has changed technically since Mortal Kombat. So the tech team's been hard at work with an all-new real-time lighting system. They have an all-new character material system, so the characters look really realistic. We have multi-threaded the renderer, so we can just sort of render more stuff on screen, so the game looks really incredible.
Our engineers have really pulled out all the stops and are squeezing every bit of performance that we can get. In comic books, the characters are very bold and bright and graphic because you're dealing with hand-drawn imagery.
Now here I want to point out that we are looking most likely at a new stage called the Watchtower. If you're unfamiliar with this stage or the role it plays in the DC Universe, basically the Watchtower is where superheroes like Superman, Batman, Flash, Wonder Woman, the Justice League, basically they chill out there and they're like, all right, cool, I'll just chill here until a mission is ready for me. So this is most likely going to be the space level. You get probably knocked out into space, a lot of technology going around, things of that nature.
There are materials and a lot of details, so what we're trying to do is make these characters feel as if they've stepped off the page. You can see the leather and the metal and the rivets and all the things that make their costumes have dimension and weight in the real world.
A lot of the action in Injustice is over the top. We have people grabbing cars and throwing them at people. We have people bouncing off objects all around the arena, and there's nothing more cinematic in the game.
Now here I want to point out that we are looking at a new stage called Arkham Asylum. At least that's what I think. I have a video up on my channel where I basically break down why I think this stage is the Arkham Asylum. You guys probably know Arkham Asylum from games like Batman Arkham Asylum. And, well, it just looks like behind Cyborg you can see it says Cells or Cell 5, something like that. And it does look like behind him you can see what looks to be possibly Poison Ivy, the Batman villain, Poison Ivy, possibly her specially made cell. And then if we look a little bit, over right here, we see this is probably Mr. Freeze's cell. So my theory on this is that basically the main stage on this level is going to be on the left you have Poison Ivy's kind of cell, and then on the right you have Mr. Freeze's cell. Why are there two different, cells like that on either side? I'm thinking this is probably the area of Arkham Asylum where the people who actually kind of need special environments, where they go in the Arkham Asylum. So that's my theory on this level and what it has to do with
events that
so
would probably blow out the budget on a summer blockbuster.
So our mantra for this game has always been, this is the big blockbuster summer movie that you've always wanted to see with superheroes.
The environment choice in Injustice is just as important as the character choice. We have several interactable zones spread out among each one of the environments, and they're not cookie cutter. They're not.
Now here I want to point out that we are looking at the Phantom Zone, and it's possible that you can see Dr. Zod in there, or someone. If you pause it right here where I have it paused, you can possibly see what looks to be Zod from the upcoming movie The Man of Steel. If you look over on the left, you can kind of see what could possibly be Zod, but obviously this is no confirmation. And if Zod is in the game, he will most likely just be a cameo. So don't get your hopes up too bad if you're really looking forward to Zod. But yeah, just a cool little thing. If you guys are into Superman, you know what Phantom Zone is. If you don't, I don't know what to tell you.
Environment that kind of eases towards your style of gameplay. We have multiple levels on many of the arenas as well, and every time you play the game it's going to be a little bit different.
The button layout has changed in Injustice from Mortal Kombat. First, we got rid of the block button. You now hold back to block for all attacks. Also, 3 attack buttons, light, medium, and hard.
So the additional button we call the character trait button, and that's a specific attack designed to showcase each character. So in the case of Nightwing, he uses the button to switch between his collie stance using collie sticks and his staff stance where he uses a staff, and there's completely different attacks. In the case of Cyborg, he uses the button to sort of charge up his health, so you're going to get different effects for every character.
The combo system in Injustice will feel very familiar. Instead of using a special move to start a combo, you actually will use your special moves to link.
Now here I'd like to point out that we're most likely looking at a Lex Luthor / possibly Brainiac stage. Just looking in the backdrop, you can possibly see what could be Lex Luthor's mech suit hand, as well as in the first trailer that was ever made for this game, you did see Lex Luthor in his mech suit being shot by the Superman laser eyes. So it's almost confirmed at this point that Lex Luthor is in the game.
DC's been incredibly supportive on this project and actually pushing us to take things farther than we ever thought we'd be able to get away with. Superman in particular was fun to work on. We had a lot of freedom with trying things as far as materials and adding little armor bits and playing with the way that his logo ties into his cape, things like that, which normally you'd think you wouldn't have the freedom to play with such an iconic character, but DC was very supportive the whole way.
The coolest thing about working on Injustice is obviously learning a lot more about the DC lore. DC has such a wealth of information and such a wealth of knowledge about their characters that it's really fun to kind of pick the brain of working with them and figuring out what would make their characters fit in kind of the Netherrealm universe. You know, if Superman had to fight in a hand-to-hand fight, what would he do? What would Catwoman do in that kind of situation?
What excites me about working on Injustice is we get to play with superheroes. We get to make Superman, Batman, The Flash, Harley Quinn.
Now, here I want to point out that we're looking at possibly a new stage or a different level to a stage we've already seen before, but my synopsis of it is possibly an opera house, judging by the two masks. I think it's Fate and Tragedy, I'm not sure. But we also have tables, so it looks like it could be a very fancy restaurant, so not quite sure. Me and another person who makes Injustice videos did have a theory that it could be maybe the Opera House, the Monarch Theater, where in Batman's origin story, the Monarch Theater is where basically outside of the Monarch Theater, his parents are shot, basically forcing Batman to become, well, Batman. That's my theories. I think it's obviously an opera house or maybe a fancy restaurant, or could be the Monarch Theater. Any of the above could be very possible.
Styles to each one of those characters and special moves has been really a privilege.
Working on Injustice has been very exciting. I'm not the only comic book fan on the team, and for all of us, this is a lifelong dream to be able to work with these iconic characters that we've been reading about and thinking about all our lives, and to actually have a chance to put our stamp on it is a really exciting opportunity.
So my favorite part about working on Injustice, and this is going to sound sappy, is I get to work with two great teams. I get to work with the NetherRealm team who made Mortal Kombat and the amazing talent here, as well as the awesome talent at DC Comics. And sort of that marriage between two awesome teams is what really keeps me coming to work each day.
So if you guys want more Injustice Gods Among Us information and news and speculation, please visit my channel, which is youtube.com/Dinozords, as well as keeping it locked here on Channel 2 TGN Games, where we talk about not only Injustice Gods Among Us, but many other AAA titles. So anyway, guys, I will see you guys next time, and here's a pretty cool ending to this awesome video.
This video is part of the Way movement, a career path in video sponsored by TGN. To learn more, visit tgn.tv.